Good morning, everybody, on our last day in Siem Reap.
Good morning.
I can't believe that our time here is already done, but this is the least time that we've spent in the city. Since tomorrow's a travel day, we're planning on taking today pretty slow and staying near the hotel, but we're also planning on filming a Q&A video, so if you're interested in that, make sure to stick around. But first, we're gonna go grab some lunch.
Take me on a big adventure, baby. If we stay together, we can stay young forever. Where will you go if you could time travel?
I was really bummed yesterday because I lost my glasses, and those have kind of defined my face shape for the last 4, almost 5 years. So I was pretty sad about it. But I contacted Grab to see if either of our drivers that day had found him in their Grabs, and the first one did, and he dropped him off at the hotel this morning, so yay, I got my glasses back. We came back to the place that's right next to our hotel for one last Siem Reap lunch. We both got fried rice. I let Siri decide what I was having today again, and she decided the fried rice.
We ordered iced coffee with milk. That looks pretty strong, actually. Okay, yeah, this tastes like mocha. I've noticed. Well, I guess I haven't had coffee here in Southeast Asia that's not like instant coffee. So it's pretty good compared to our American watered out water.
Coffee flavored water.
Yeah.
Today we both need to knock out a whole bunch of videos for our social media. I only have today's video uploaded to YouTube, so there's only one more video going live. So I need to get to work on that and get some videos uploaded for the next few days. The only issue that we're running into right now is that the Wi-Fi at our hotel is really slow, so it takes like 3 or 4 hours to upload each video. So I really need to get a head start on that to get that taken care of. But yeah, other than that, today's gonna be a pretty chill day. Maybe we'll finally dip our toes in the pool after 2 weeks.
Yeah, if we have time.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because, I don't know, we work at night, so we have like the whole time we're up until we get to work, and we still just run out of time.
This week I definitely felt like we were kind of rushing through things and going fast, but that's because we had the ticking clock of our 3-day pass at Angkor Wat. But other than that, I don't feel like we've really been rushed or kind of going fast or forcing things for the sake of time. So I think that we're slowly figuring this out. I think we're getting the hang of it. Snacking on some beautiful fried rice today. Before heading back to our hotel for the rest of the day, we're gonna go and buy a couple little snacks for our long bus journey tomorrow. The 7-Eleven is definitely more expensive in general, but I think here in Cambodia it's a little extra expensive because we've only seen one 7-Eleven, and that's where all the tourists go. All the snacks that we just bought for tomorrow, we got a couple of drinks and a couple of snacks, and it all came out to $4 at that convenience store. We bought less stuff from 7-Eleven, and it was like $8 or $9 the other night, so shop at the little local convenience stores. Now that we've been traveling full-time for 1 month, we decided it's finally time that we sit down and do a Q&A.
We asked you guys to send us your questions through Instagram and on YouTube, and we're here to answer them. First question, kind of silly, but it's from Lee Dong-sung, and it's, why do you guys look alike?
I think we've just lived together and been together for so long now that we just kind of started looking alike.
Yeah, and sometimes we walk out wearing almost like the same outfit, and I'm like, I need to go back and change. Next question is from Erin Austin, 9968. How has the Airbnb been going?
So if you haven't seen our Getting Ready to Travel video, we Airbnb'd our house back in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and for the first 2 months it was listed, November and December. It did excellent. It was completely booked through the entire month because there was a lot of holidays and a lot of people taking vacation. So thankfully we were able to cover all of our expenses and also save some extra money for slower periods, which came January and February. We've been almost completely empty. We've only had one booking that entire time. And from our experience, that should start picking up again in March. It's just the very slow period right now in Albuquerque, New Mexico, now that all the holidays have passed and everybody's back at work and school.
I also got a lot of mosquito bites on my face. Sorry if I start like scratching. Next question is from Allison Howell 6562. How did you go only having a one-way ticket?
So as you may know, to enter Thailand, you also have to have a return ticket or an exit ticket out of Thailand. So we left the US on a one-way ticket into Thailand, but as we were leaving the airport in the US, I actually bought our ticket exiting Thailand to our second country, to Cambodia. That way we meet the immigration requirements of having a ticket exiting Thailand. Although when we arrived, they didn't ask us for that. They just stamped our passports and let us into the country. Like the whole immigration process took like a minute for both of us. So maybe it's hit or miss whether they ask you or not, but we did have the proper documentation showing that we were leaving Thailand in case they asked.
Brian Cole 842 asks, have you had any stomach problems with the food? No, luckily we haven't so far, and we've been trying street food and even restaurants that are literally inside of people's homes. Everything's been good. I mean, besides the fact that it's been pretty much healthier than the food back at the US, and it's a lot more flavorful. No issues. I've also been drinking a lot of smoothies and a lot of Thai iced teas.
I have to be a little bit more careful just because I'm vegetarian, but I think being Mexican also is an advantage here because all Mexican food has lard in it. So my body's kind of used to digesting meat greases, which other vegetarians may not be used to. And something that vegetarians should pay attention to is that just because something says that it's only vegetables, it may still have been cooked or have chicken or beef broth. So that's just an additional question to ask if you're ordering like a soup or something like that. But we haven't had any issues. And back home, every single time that I've been to an Applebee's or a Chili's, I've gotten sick. But here I eat at the sketchiest street food carts and I haven't had any problems.
Yeah, and typically at restaurants, if you tell them like no meat, no fish, they'll ask you egg, and that's been a pretty good sign for us that they understood that, you know, we have a vegetarian diet. Well, not me. I'll eat meat sometimes, but Moses.
And obviously, exercise good judgment. If the meat doesn't look cooked, don't eat it. But other than that, I mean, just enjoy the food. We haven't had any issues. And this may be a little TMI, but we felt our digestion actually a whole lot healthier since being here compared to the US. And I think that's just because we haven't been eating any processed food, which that was pretty much all we ate back in the United States.
Yeah. And I guess we kind of answered the question, but this comes from Pauline9167. What's both of yours nationality? And we are Mexican.
We're both dual citizens, Mexico and United States. And we've also done DNA tests, and I'm only 15% Mexican. But Yami, on the other hand,
I'm 70% Mexican. Yay!
I'm her other 15%.
Yeah, I'm 70% taco. No, I'm just kidding. So our whole lives we've grown up speaking Spanish, and just with the Mexican culture, which we absolutely love, Mexican food. I think that is what I miss the most being here. It's been a month since I actually had Mexican food. And it's always a lot of fun to run into other like Latinos. We haven't seen any Mexicans here, but we run into other Latinos, and it's just so fun to talk to them and just get to know a bit more about their city, because we definitely want to be exploring more of like South America and more of Mexico. I think that's how we connect with people too. You're just like, wait, you speak Spanish too? Because you don't really see that many people like that.
Hispanohablantes, Spanish speakers are definitely the minority of tourists that we've met here.
Mm-hmm. Next question is from Max D. Crosby. Have you thought about using a travel/refillable cup? You both go through so much plastic, just a thought.
So we are conscious of our plastic usage and we try to reduce it as much as possible. We are aware that right now traveling we are using a lot more plastic than we normally do, but we try to reduce it in a few different ways. For our own peace of mind and also to help our travels go more smoothly, we only drink bottled water. We try to buy the biggest bottle available wherever. In a lot of places that's just the 1.5 liter bottles, but whenever possible we try to buy these giant water bottles that are like 1.5 gallons each, and that reduces how much plastic we're using with bottles. And when we're at a hotel, we always drink out of our refillable cups, our metal insulated tumblers, because we are crispy water addicts. And when we leave the hotel, we have our refillable water bottles that also have UV filtration. So if we do have to get water elsewhere outside of the hotel, we know that it'll be safe because the UV will kill all the germs and bacteria in the water. Maybe just dim them a bit. Oh, that's even darker though. It's fine, it'll be fine. Unfortunately, we have to work with what we have, so we don't have nice professional studio lighting. We just kind of have whatever's available in the hotel, so sorry if we're a little bit dark.
This question is from MTHA7796. How long do you guys plan to travel?
What we keep telling people is we're going to travel till we go broke. Basically, we don't know how long we're going to travel. We want to travel as long as possible. If we could go for the whole year, that'd be great. If we can go longer, that'd be great. Obviously, we're going to have to go home at some point because we are missing our families more and more by the day. We miss my parents' cats. So the true answer is we don't know how long we're going to travel. Originally, we planned on traveling for 3 months, but after seeing how much work it took to prepare just to travel for 3 months, we decided we might as well go for longer. And longer became 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, till we just said, let's just travel as long as possible.
We got 2 questions from Michelle Guldanmlo. Thank you so much, Michelle. Did you take a sabbatical from your job for a set period of time?
No, but we were planning to originally when our plan was just to travel for 3 months. But after talking to our jobs, we realized that we would actually be able to work remotely quite efficiently. I'm an IT guy, so I work on servers and computers. And it's actually been an advantage that I can work nighttime in the US and daytime here. Because when I work on servers and computers, I'm not interrupting people's daytime work.
And I work in investment banking, so all I really need to do is just be available during New York time, which in our time right now is from 8:30 p.m. until midnight. We're really grateful for our jobs to give us this opportunity to travel while also working. Michelle's second question is, how are you doing sticking to your budget?
And the answer is, it's complicated. We both have finance degrees and our personal finances are extremely complicated. I literally use commercial level accounting software to manage it all. So originally when our plan was to travel for 3 months, we saved up $10,000 to cover all of our expenses. After talking to our jobs and realizing that we would be able to work remotely from Asia, we decided to set a monthly budget of $2,000, or actually a budget of $500 per week. And we chose that number because that keeps us well below our income and still leaves us enough money to put away for investing and retirement. And since we're finance nerds, we like doing that. The $500 budget is meant to cover our hotels, our food, our transportation, and as many activities as possible. But we decided that we don't want to miss out on excursions or activities just because they're not in the budget. So if anything goes beyond that budget, we are using our $10,000 savings to cover any bigger excursions. So for Thailand, we were there for 3.4 weeks, and with our budget that translates to a $1,714 budget. Everything, including excursions, came out to $1,988, but if you subtract the excursions, it came out to $1,707. So not counting excursions, we were $7 below our budget. Counting excursions, we were $380 and change above our budget. So those excursions would be coming out of our savings because we didn't want to come all the way to Thailand and then not hang out with elephants or not check out really cool temples or not go to a national forest.
Yeah.
We didn't want to just be in our hotel.
Although keeping track of our finances daily is not something we used to do back in the States, it's still been a really great experience to be here, and I would rather much go through this whole process of like figuring it out than being back at home.
We weren't very fancy people in the US anyways, so we're still only spending about half of what we spent in the US, but it is still significantly less than we used to spend. One area where we could definitely reduce our budget is on our hotels. In Thailand, we spent $875 just on hotels, but we decided that was one area of our budget that we want to spend a little bit more on just because we work remotely and we're going to be spending a lot of times in our hotels. So we wanted a nice, comfortable space where we could do our work and also a nice, comfortable space to unwind after very long days of exploring. So I'm kind of okay with that budget. I still feel like $35 a day is very cheap. That's significantly cheaper than our mortgage or rent back in the United States. But on a typical backpacker's budget, you'd probably be looking at about half of that. This wasn't asked, but our flight to Thailand was actually free all the way from Albuquerque. And we did this through credit card hacking, which I'm sure you've heard all over YouTube from every travel vlogger. We have all of these American Airlines credit cards, and they've already bought us a free trip to Spain, which is already on our channel.
And it was also our first video on our channel.
It also bought us a free flight all the way to Thailand, and we paid 72,500 miles plus like $30 each in taxes for this flight. So extremely cheap, essentially free. And in my account, I still have 190,000 miles, and Yami has another 50,000 miles in her account, which should be more than enough to take us the rest of the way around the world and back home.
Another question that nobody asked is, why did you guys start a YouTube channel?
We always wanted to travel, and people will always tell you that it's never too late to start traveling, but we also believe that it's never too early to start traveling. We've been inspired by many YouTubers to take this leap of faith. Some of the earliest YouTubers that we watched were Eamon and Beck with their Van Life Worldwide series, but we've also followed countless other travel YouTubers like Karen Nate and One Pack Wonders, We Are Catch the Wind, and many more, just to name a few. We just wanted to document our journey and show that there's nothing special about us. We're just two dumb kids from Albuquerque, New Mexico that took a one-way flight to Thailand, and we're just figuring things out as we go and happen to be carrying a camera with us along the way.
It's also been a great way to keep our families in touch with everything we've been doing, because I can't imagine going back home and then they're asking us, tell me all about it. Like, this is just too much. So this is a great way for us to document our lives, and a lot of the times when we look back at our videos, we forget some of the things that we have done, and just looking back on them just reminds us about a lot and how we were feeling at that moment. And I think that videos is better than taking pictures. This isn't much on the whole, like, why did we start YouTube, but it's why we started traveling. And last year I graduated and I was just trying to figure out my career and what path I was going through. It was very, very difficult to even find a job in the first place. Like, that's something that nobody tells you about, that starting a career is really difficult. And luckily I had this opportunity to where I could work remotely from anywhere. We were so inspired by other travel YouTubers, and just we would always think like, wow, that's something I want to do. Like, that is my dream.
And one day we just said, okay, well, let's pick a date. And January 15th was the date we picked, and January 15th is the day we left. Even after booking these tickets, they were fully refundable. We could have gotten our money and our points back, so it still didn't feel like a huge commitment yet. And we were just at this crossroads of thinking, like, should we cancel and get started on our careers, or should we take the plunge and take this one-way ticket? And right about that time, I was working at one of my tia's computers, one of my aunties, and just kind of talking to her about the situation we were in. And the advice she gave me was, you can always come back and start your career later, but you may not always have this opportunity to go and travel full-time. So that kind of made the decision for us that we should go travel full-time.
Yeah, it did.
So thank you, Tia. Thank you for giving us the last push.
Our last question of the day is from Walking Estonian. Which countries are you planning to visit?
So when we were planning on traveling for 3 months, we wanted to hit 6 countries in those 3 months, so 2 countries a month. And now that we're doing slow travel, I don't know what we were thinking, because we've been doing 1 country a month, and even that feels kind of fast. In no particular order, we also want to go to Laos, Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, Japan, South Korea, pretty much everything in Southeast Asia. Japan and South Korea might be a little bit more of a challenge on our budget just because they're very expensive countries. So either we're going to be in very uncomfortable accommodations and not be able to do much, or we're going to have to tweak our budget a bit for those countries. A big one on Yami's bucket list is to see Mount Everest. So Nepal is high up on our list, but since that's a little further from where we are going to have to do a little bit more planning to get over there.
Those are all of the questions we received today. We really appreciate you guys for sending us that. And this is a reminder, if you guys want to continue following us throughout our Southeast Asia journey, to hit that subscribe button and also give this video a big thumbs up and slap that notification bell.
And if you have any more questions, feel free to drop those down in the comments, because we do plan on doing this again some point in the future. But now, it's time for us to get to work.
No.
It is finally time for our last dinner here in Siem Reap, and I honestly can't believe that we're about to leave. Feels like we just got here.
Time has flown by here, but I also think it's because we spent 3 days in Angkor Wat for a good part of the day as well. We are physically tired, but ready for the next adventure.
Yeah, some noisy birds.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yemi is getting some more sweet bread. It's gonna be our dessert.
I got a giant cookie and I don't know what's in it, but it looks like it's a sugar cookie. Let's taste it.
And it was only 50 cents. It's as big as your face.
Yeah. That's big. Yeah, it tastes like a sugar cookie. Not too sweet, but still good.
For our last dinner, we got some mama noodles and some red curry with white rice.
Oh, the fork even has anchor wat.
Oh, no way. Dinner is pretty great, as usual. But we've been taking a little bit of time to reflect on our time in Siem Reap since it is our last night here. I think it definitely got off to a rough start. We definitely had a bit of culture shock when we first landed and got to our hotel. But it was something completely new and different and out of our comfort zone, and I can happily say that a week later, this is well within our comfort zone, and our comfort zone has grown once again, which is a pretty exciting feeling. Like, walking to this market might have scared me on that first night, but now this is just our nightly routine.
What I do like about Siem Reap is that this is the only city we've been to. Again, we've only been to like 3 cities. But this is the only city where everything has been like easily accessible, like food, drinks, right? And like convenience stores. You haven't had to walk 15 minutes to get to food.
And Siem Reap is a really cool city, and it's just another vibrant town here in Cambodia. But truly, it's been a pretty pleasant experience ever since we got here, and the customer service here is completely unmatched to anywhere else we've been.
I loved being here in Siem Reap. My favorite part is obviously Angkor Wat. It was absolutely beautiful, and doing all that exploring. Facing the fear in Angkor Wat, like going up the stairs that were really steep, was a lot of fun too. Just adventures like that push us out of our comfort zone have been the best experience so far. It was just so beautiful. Like, I keep looking back at my pictures and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I was there.
Tomorrow's gonna be an interesting and different day for us, but in the meantime, we're gonna take a little bit of time to enjoy Siem Reap one last time.
The hard colors to wash. We bought an Angkor Wat shirt, and I don't really wear these like out and about, but when I'm hanging out at the house or at the hotel, I like to wear these and work in them.
We kind of regret not buying a shirt in Thailand, and Angkor Wat was a little too pretty to pass up the opportunity. So instead of dessert, we decided we could use one more beer on Pub Street. So we're gonna go back to the fire show place. We got front row seats again. And right as we walked up, he singed the hairs on my head. Last night, drinks and a show.
Woo, last night.
We always being scared. I'm like,
That just about wraps up our time here in Siem Reap, Cambodia. We're gonna spend this afternoon working and also packing up our bags, which once again have exploded all over our hotel room. We'll see you all tomorrow for our first bus adventure of this trip.
We'll see you. Bye.